Hi everyone, my name is Susanna and today we are going to have a look at another grammar topic together, and that is past perfect. So just like in our previous videos, we are going to have a look at various situations in which you can use this tense, and then we are going to have a look at its form, and at the end of the class or at the end of the video there is like a little tiny test for you, let's say. So let's get started. Past perfect, well, this tense basically we use it, of course, as the name suggests, for the past. However, we use it for things that happened even before another specific time in the past. So for instance, let's have a look at this example together. So as you can see, we have a timeline here. So this is when my dad left. So it was the first thing that happened in the past. And this is when I arrived at my mom's house, right? So basically, we can say that when I arrived at my mom's house, my dad had already left. So my dad had already left is in the past perfect because we want to express that this thing happened even before I arrived at my mom's house. All right, so this is why we say when I arrived at my mom's house, my dad had already left. So it happened even before I arrived. All right, guys, perfect. I hope it's clear. Or basically, we can also say, let's say that this is my photo, from Spain. And imagine that I'm showing it to my friend and I'm just saying, oh, this was my first time in Spain. I had never been there before. So before this time, I had never been there before, right? So basically we just want to express this was my first time, but before that, even before that, I had never been there. So this is why we use the past perfect tense here. Alrighty, good. Then basically, we also use it as the past form of the present perfect, right? So for example, if you haven't watched or if you don't know a lot about the present perfect tense, again, I suggest you to watch a video on the present perfect tense before moving forward. If you are familiar with this tense, then just like keep going and keep watching this video. So anyways, we know that we use the present perfect tense when we want to express the things that have just happened like a short time ago, right? The same applies in the past. So, for example, you can say, oh, she was super excited because she had just won a game of chess. So you want to express that she had just won it. It means she had just won it like a short time before that, right? A short time ago, but like in the past context in a way, right? So this is when we would also use the past perfect tense. All right, or you can, for example, also say, like if you have a look at here at Liz, she doesn't look very happy, but she's pretty frustrated, we can say, right? She's pretty upset, pretty frustrated. So again, in the past context, we can say, wow, Liz was frustrated because she hadn't got a paycheck in months. She hadn't got a paycheck in months, right? So she was frustrated at that moment because even before that moment, she hadn't got a paycheck, right? Until that moment in the past. So this is when we also use the past perfect tense, right? Because in the present, if you just changed it to the present, you would say, oh, Liz is frustrated now because she hasn't got a paycheck in months, right? But when we want to push it into the past, we would just say Liz was frustrated because she hadn't got a paycheck in months, right? All right, guys, I hope it is all clear to you. So now let's have a look together at its form. So as you have already noticed, probably, we also use had and then the verb in the past participle form, right? So let's have a look at the example with see. As we know, see is an irregular verb, right? So when you have a look at the table with 3 columns, we always say see, saw, seen. So in here, we will use that third form, all right? And always had. So in case of I, you would just say I had seen. Again, you can use it in the short form, in which you would just say I'd seen. Or again, you can say you had seen, or again, just a short form, you'd seen, right? Or again, he, she, it had seen, or he'd, she'd, it'd seen, right? Or we, you, they had seen, we'd, you'd, they'd seen, right? So the form is always in this way. So I think it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. And then in the negative form, basically, you would just add not there again. So in case of I, you would say I had not seen. Or if you want to use it in the short form, you would say I hadn't seen. Or again, you had not seen, or just a short form, you hadn't seen, right? He, she, it had not seen, or again, he, she, it hadn't seen, right? In case of we, you, they, it's the same. So we, you, they had not seen, or we hadn't, you hadn't, they hadn't seen, right? Awesome, guys. And then in case of questions, what would happen, or what happens, is that we just change the position of the person. So are you, we, you, are you, we, he, she, they, and had. So in the positive form, we know that we always say I had seen something. In the question, you will just change it the other way around, and you will say had I seen blah blah blah, right? Or had you seen blah blah blah. Had he, had she, had it seen blah blah blah, right? Or had we, had you, had they seen something, 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 right? And again, in the answer, if you just want to answer it very shortly, so I don't know, somebody can ask you, had you seen something, blah, blah, and you can say, yes, I had, or no, I hadn't. All right? Cool, guys, perfect. So that's about it about the form. And now let's just have a look at one more thing together. And this is like this little quiz or the little test, which is maybe not even a test so much because you can see everything here, but it's just like, let's say, a food for thought, something to think about. So basically, we have 2 sentences here, which look pretty much very like similar, right? However, in the first one, as you can see, we use the past perfect tense. In the second one, we just have 2 past simple tenses. So basically, let's have a look at the first situation. Let's say that when I came back home, George had finished his homework. So let's say again, when I came back home, George had finished his homework. So basically, what does that mean? What happened first? Well, it means that at first, George finished his homework, and then I came home, right? So he finished the homework even before I came home. Right? Cool. However, if we say when I came back home, George finished his homework. When I came back home, George finished his homework. This means that at first I came home and then George finished his homework, right? So it happened one after another, right? So the first situation is that I came back home and then George finished his homework, right? Cool, guys, perfect. So just remember, every time when you see the past perfect tense, it just means that something happened even before another situation or even before another thing happened in the past. All right? So that's the basic thing you should remember. Right, guys, perfect. So distance is a little bit challenging. So in case you have like any questions regarding that, or yeah, in case you are not really sure about something, just like make sure to ask us in the comments below as always. And in case you like this video and you would like to see more of them in the future, please don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, or yeah, or comment. We will be more than happy to see that. And yeah, so that's about it. So have a great day. Keep up studying, and yeah, I will see you next time. Bye bye.